We're salivating over the incredible range of Chinese EVs here in Australia now. Overseas in Europe and the US, it's a completely different story. We get introduced to brands like Zeekr and Geely and XPeng and Leapmotor. Overseas in Europe, the traditional manufacturers are making a fight back, and we're missing out.
Say you love me, say you'll stay by my side. Together we'll forever be alive. The harder things get, the harder we try. Forever lost inside angel eyes.
Hi, I'm Roscoe, and this is News and Amazing EV, and today we're going to look at 10 amazing new EVs that are doing really, really well, but there's no way that we're getting them here in Australia. The European manufacturers look gone for all money, but in the last year, particularly the last 6 months, they're really making a fight back, and they're preparing for the Chinese invasion with new models from Renault, from Ford, even from Volkswagen. And at number one, of course, is the Renault 5. This is incredible retro model, has just received incredible accolades. Everybody loves it.
This is one of the most hyped new cars of this decade. But is it overhyped? No.
It's cute, it's fast, it's nimble, it's spacious. It's all that an EV should be. An incredible reimagination of the original Renault 5, which holds a soft spot for so many people in Europe. But of course, Renault never really got established here properly in Australia, despite the fact it was the very first car of the year almost 60 years ago. We've come a long way since then, but the Renault 5 is doing incredibly well, but there's no way we're going to get it here in Australia. Renault Australia have ruled it out completely. The second EV, which we're almost no chance of getting in Australia, is the Nissan Micra, the Renault 5's close cousin. Of course, Renault and Nissan are tied up in a strategic alliance, sharing technology, sharing platforms. The Nissan Micra is a natural extension from the Renault 5. It's built for the European markets. They need it over there, a small compact car for Nissan, but there's no way Nissan are going to bring it to Australia. At number 3 is from Fiat, another brand which has never had a strong foothold here in Australia, and they've had very limited success with the 500e. Personal favourite of mine and Mrs. Amazing, but when they announced that they were bringing the Fiat Panda out in the UK, again on a shared platform from Stellantis, huge raptures. It just appealed to so many people who had a soft spot for the Panda. Can you see a theme going on here? These retro models are replacing names that are really well known, have a soft spot for so many people. And these reincarnations are really appealing to the European market at the moment. And again, of course, at number 4, the Renault 4 recently launched with incredible accolades. Similar platform to the Panda again, but just holding a soft spot for so many people.
Imagine how annoying it would be to have a sibling who was brilliant in every way, celebrated and adored everywhere they went. Imagine the pressure of having to follow that act. Well, if you can imagine it, congratulations. You now know how it feels to be my sister. On a separate note, this is the new Renault 4.
Fond memories, their grandmother, their auntie with that Renault 4. They're really appealing to the heartstrings with these models in Europe, and you know what? It's probably working. And don't forget the new Fiat Tris, this incredibly cute little truck-like vehicle which is designed to replace as an EV version of the Ape or the Ape, which has been, look, it's just sold millions as an incredible, popular and practical little utility. This would suit 90% of most applications for around the city for small deliveries and bits and pieces. It is the perfect city car. It's just a pity, again, we will never see this in Australia. No real popular brands that are already established in Australia. I hear you say, well, what about from Ford? At number 6, the Ford Capri. Now, everyone remembers, well, people my generation remember the Ford Capri as an original 2-seater. And we've been waiting 50 years for a replacement for Ford Capri, and then Ford give us this. Nothing like the original concept, completely off track.
So the next electric car for Ford should stand for excitement.
And stand for something that only Ford can stand for.
Very hard to know what they're thinking. Again, a car that's never going to come to Australia. And sticking with Ford at number 7 is the Ford Puma. Small SUVs are amongst the top 10 in the UK. It's a completely different picture to what we see here in Australia. And the Puma's been one of the top selling vehicles in the UK for years now. So it was only natural that they turn it into an EV. It's doing okay. It's an ICE conversion to an EV. It's not a dedicated EV platform, but again, Ford Australia have ruled this out. We're never going to see this. And yes, Toyota have got some products, some more products apart from the BZ4X. coming in the US and in China. But whether they'll come here or not still remains to be seen. Toyota are milking that cash cow here, and why would they bother here when they can still make plenty of money out of Hiluxes? In the US, the B7 was launched as a concept only a couple of weeks ago, and in China at the Shanghai Auto Show there were plenty on offer from Toyota models for the Chinese market as they finally jump on board the EV bandwagon. When we'll ever see anything apart from the BZ4X here in Australia? I don't know, Toyota, you tell us. And here's another cute little one that I couldn't resist either, and this one never came to Australia. In fact, it was dead before it even got going, and that was the Honda E, which was launched in Europe to incredible fanfare over 5 years ago now, and just laid the platform for Honda's EV expansion, and it just came to nothing. But we've got one for sale. Someone imported one from the UK, and we've got one for sale at Amazing EV, our dedicated used EV marketplace. Take a look at it. It's expensive, there's not many around, but it is very rare and it's going to be a collector's item. It's a beautiful little car. It's incredibly advanced and such a funky style. It was lauded by everyone from Johnny Smith to everyone in the UK who absolutely loved this car. It is an amazing little car that never came to Australia, except for this one. And at number 9, of course, the Cybertruck. No chance of coming to Australia now. It's peaked and it's on the way down again. Look, it's hard to say what this is all about, this concept, and still, it's a love-hate, and seems to be more hate at the moment about the Cybertruck. Plenty of people put their deposit down 3 or 4 years ago, $400 or $500, and they waited and waited and waited. And of course, Tesla launched it, and there was no way it was going to be a right-hand drive version. There was no way they were going to do such small volumes, and Australia was never going to see it. It toured recently, and we had a chance to see it. We sat inside it. It is incredible. I do have a soft spot from a design perspective, but just seems to be more problems than it was ever worth. And whether Tesla will carry on down that route, hard to say, but we just can't see it coming to Australia. And to round this top 10 off is BYD, who are, look, making incredible progress here in Australia and are on track to be a top-selling brand as they are now in China. The Seagull is the top-selling car. The BYD Seagull, as it's known in China, is the top-selling car, EV or otherwise, in China at the moment. It's just been launched in the UK, and again, it's highly unlikely we're going to see it here, maybe for ANCAP safety reasons or other reasons, just not enough profit margin, but it sits below the Dolphin as an almost micro car, and it sits well below $20,000 in price as well. We're never going to see it. We're never going to see it at that price either, but hey, look, there's some movement at the BYD station at the top, so maybe there'll be some changes, maybe some model changes. Maybe we'll see something with the news. BYD are taking more interest and more management and more responsibility for distribution. Maybe there'll be some changes in the BYD lineup coming up soon. So that's our top 10 of cars and EVs, fantastic EVs that, look, there's no chance we're going to get them here. And a big reason for that is the price. And some of these cars are £25,000, £35,000 and just simply double that at the moment. And you get to 70 grand for a medium-sized car, which is just way out of the market here at the moment. The price point here is 50 to 60. Some of the pricing on some of the latest models from China started off more optimistically, but they are back down to that 50, 55 range because that's the sweet spot for people at the moment in small SUVs. Bring out another car or trying to convert those cars to here just makes no sense whatsoever. So look, hey, we get it sometimes. They're just going to be too expensive to bring here in Australia. But to finish this off, we can't ignore the Xiaomi SU7 and U7. Both launched in the last 6 months, and Xiaomi has got such an incredible brand around the world, such amazing following. There's no way these are coming here. They're going gangbusters in China. They can't even keep up with demand over there. They're such good-looking cars and such incredible product from an amazing company. We couldn't ignore them. Xiaomi, we'd love to see them here. I'm Roscoe, and we'll see you next time.